Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning of Easter weekend, and I had a little experience this week in school that I just want to share with some of you. I won't be sharing names or details, but just something that reminded me of why I'm a teacher, and I wanted to encourage each of you that are teachers, not just those of us who are Christians, but especially those of us who are, but any teachers who have had any kind of life experience that is adversity or suffering. I would just challenge you to share those experiences as you see fit with your students. So this week I had a student who had made a bad decision, and I'm going to try to stay generic here so I don't get more specific, but this student had made a bad choice, and I had talked to this student about their choice, and another teacher as well had caught this student in a similar bad choice in their classroom. And it opened the door for me to be able to discuss this choice with a student. But more importantly, and on a bigger scale, it allowed me to find out some more about the student and their background, and that their mother had left them at a young age, as my mother did as well. And we were able to just kind of discuss that and how that has impacted our lives, and how that has impacted really a bigger awareness of grace that someone else has stepped in to take over in their life, and how my grandmother stepped in when I was 3 years old and my mom left. And there was a lot of circumstances around that. And so it wasn't just, my mom got upset one day, left, and never came back. There's a lot more to it than that. But Henry Nouwen talks about this as the wounded healer, and how those of us who have been wounded in whatever ways are able to then take that experience and then bring it as light and truth and meaning and change into other people's lives. And so I would just challenge you as teachers, and those of you who are in other fields as well, whether you're pastors, grocery store workers, lawyers, doctors, whatever arena you find yourself in, that you would take your own pain and your own struggle and the adversity and suffering that has happened in your life and share that in the lives of others, because you never know what kind of impact that can make in their lives. What I think has happened as a result of this week, and I should also share that I was able to invite another person into the discussion that has gone through some adversity and suffering as well. And so now this student has two people that she says she would have had no idea that we had gone through experiences like that. That now she has someone that she feels like, or two people that she now can go to and talk to, who better understand her story as well. I was trying to stay generic and not even give the sex of the student away, but anyway. So anyway, this student now has someone they can go to that probably couldn't have gone to otherwise. So please, I'm just asking you, please don't be afraid of sharing your story. Don't be ashamed of sharing your story. Like I said, I referred to Henry Nouwen, and you can read that. It's basically a little book called The Wounded Healer. And just share your suffering and your pain and your struggle. And Easter weekend really makes me think about this even more, because I know as a Christian what Christ has done for me. He suffered, was tormented, and was ultimately crucified on a cross for me, for my sins. And I want that to have an impact in my life. I'm not going to go out and share my faith directly with students, because that is unconstitutional or illegal. But there are definitely many other ways that we can share our meaning and our purpose in our lives with our students. As students bring their stories into our lives and ask questions about us and about our lives, we can openly share and answer those questions that they have. And even part of our curriculum in many grades requires that we share not our faith, but that we share events through history, and we share what other people believe. A good example is as we share about the life of Martin Luther King Jr., who was a very outspoken Christian as well as civil rights leader. We need to reflect on the purpose of why he did what he did, and the source of his faith and the meaning of his faith. And that's just one of hundreds of examples, but he is the one who most comes to my mind, one of my heroes, just simply because he was a man of integrity, he was a man of the word, and he had his flaws as well. I mean, we all do. I think one thing that has come about in the past couple of years to me is that we all have flaws. We all have stuff in our closets, and we are so unwilling as a society to confess that and to admit that, because we want to call everybody else out. And it just breaks my heart that we're so unwilling to look at our own sin, our own flaws, our own frailties, and our own junk, so to speak. So don't be afraid of those things. Be able to open the closet door just a little bit, and let students see the junk that we deal with. And I don't mean in just crazy ways. I mean as it's appropriate, and on a one-on-one basis, that we are able to just share with our students our own suffering, our own frustrations. I have shared, and this is what started with me. My sharing of having ADHD as well as having an auditory processing disorder kind of paved the way for me to be able to share bigger things, like my mom, leaving when I was 3, and my grandmother raising me, and it's just helped me to become even more transparent, that when issues come up with students, that I have a huge life experience to pull from, because I've had different careers, with the military, with law enforcement, with being a youth pastor, just different things that I can pull from to share with students and with parents as well, of not necessarily sharing my faith, but sharing my life experiences, being a father, being a husband of 30 years, just everything. There's so many things that I can pull from, and it's not just me. Everyone out there that is bored enough to watch this video all the way to the completion is able to look at your life and go, that's something I've never shared with somebody else. Maybe I should do that, whether you're a Christian or not. Look in your heart and see, are there places in your life's experience that you can share with others? And I challenge you to do that. I hope you have a great Easter weekend. I hope that you can find a church tomorrow that preaches the word and that has a good understanding of Scripture, where you can go, that you can really understand what the meaning of Easter really is, and it can change your life. I hope you have a great day. Love you, mean it. See you later. Bye.